In the heart of Africa, nestled between rolling hills and vast savannas, lay the village of Nyumbani. It was a place where the sun kissed the earth with warmth, and the stars told ancient stories in the night sky. The villagers lived in harmony with nature, their days filled with the rhythm of the seasons and the traditions passed down through generations. Nyumbani was a vibrant tapestry of colors and sounds. The thatched roofs of the huts were adorned with bright patterns, and the air was filled with the melodies of birds and the laughter of children. It was a place where everyone knew each other, and community was the cornerstone of life. Among the villagers was a young boy named Kofi. At 10 years old, Kofi was known for his boundless curiosity and bright eyes that seemed to hold 1,000 questions. His family, like most in Nyumbani, lived a simple life. His father was a skilled farmer, and his mother wove beautiful baskets that were highly sought after in the nearby markets. Kofi had a thirst for knowledge that set him apart from the other children. While they were content to play and explore, Kofi was always looking for something more. He would spend hours watching the ants build their intricate tunnels or observing the way the river flowed over the rocks. His favorite place was his grandfather's attic, a treasure trove of old tools, books, and mysterious objects. One afternoon, while rummaging through the attic, Kofi stumbled upon an old, dusty book. Its cover was worn, and the pages were yellowed with age. He carefully opened it, revealing intricate diagrams and strange symbols. The book was unlike anything he had ever seen. It was filled with knowledge about science and technology, things that were foreign to the villagers of Nyumbani. As Kofi pored over the book, he felt a spark of excitement. He didn't understand everything, but he knew that this book held the key to something extraordinary. He decided then and there that he would learn everything he could from it, even if it meant staying up late into the night, studying by the light of a flickering candle. Little did Kofi know, this discovery was the beginning of a journey that would change not only his life, but the future of Nyumbani as well. The old book became Kofi's most treasured possession. Every spare moment he had, he would sneak away to the attic to study its contents. The diagrams and descriptions fascinated him, sparking ideas and questions in his young mind. He learned about basic principles of mechanics, electricity, and even some rudimentary chemistry. Kofi's first challenge was understanding the concepts in the book. The language was technical, and many words were unfamiliar to him. But his determination was unyielding. He would ask his grandfather, who had traveled far and wide in his youth, about the strange words. His grandfather, though puzzled by some of the terms, would share whatever knowledge he had. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden glow over the village, Kofi sat on the porch with his grandfather. The old man, with his weathered face and kind eyes, looked at Kofi with curiosity. "Kofi, my boy, what keeps you so engrossed in that old book?" he asked. Kofi looked up, his eyes shining with excitement. "Grandfather, this book is full of amazing things. It talks about how to make machines and how to use something called electricity. I think I can build something to help the village." His grandfather chuckled, patting Kofi on the head. "You have always been a curious one. If anyone can figure it out, it's you. Just remember, knowledge is a powerful tool, but it must be used wisely." Encouraged by his grandfather's words, Kofi continued his studies with renewed vigor. He began to experiment with small projects, using whatever materials he could find around the village. His first successful creation was a simple water wheel made from old wooden planks and clay pots. It was designed to help with the irrigation of the fields. When Kofi presented his invention to the villagers, they were skeptical at first. The idea of a machine doing the work seemed strange and unfamiliar. But Kofi's father, always supportive of his son's endeavors, decided to give it a try. They set up the water wheel by the river, and soon enough, water flowed into the fields with ease. The villagers were astonished. They gathered around the water wheel, watching in awe as it turned with the current of the river. It didn't take long for them to see the benefits. The irrigation system made their work easier, and the crops began to flourish. Word of Kofi's invention spread quickly. People from neighboring villages came to see the water wheel and hear about the young boy who had created it. Kofi became a local hero, and the villagers began to see him in a new light. They realized that his curiosity and knowledge could bring about positive change. With the success of the water wheel, Kofi's confidence grew. He continued to study the old book, eager to learn more and create new inventions. He set up a small workshop in his grandfather's attic, where he spent hours tinkering and experimenting. Kofi's next project was a simple windmill. He had read about wind energy in the book and was fascinated by the idea of harnessing the power of the wind. Using scraps of wood, old metal parts, and fabric from discarded clothes, he built a small prototype. It was a rudimentary device, but it worked. He set up the windmill on a hill just outside the village. When the wind blew, the blades turned, generating a small amount of electricity. It wasn't much, but it was enough to power a few light bulbs. For the first time, the villagers experienced the magic of electric light. The night Kofi lit up the village square was unforgettable. The villagers gathered around, their faces illuminated by the soft glow of the bulbs. Children danced with excitement, and the elders looked on with pride. Kofi's mother hugged him tightly, tears of joy in her eyes. "This is just the beginning," Kofi said, his voice filled with determination. "I want to learn more and create even bigger things. We can make our village a better place." But not everyone was convinced. Some villagers were skeptical, worried about the changes and the unknown. They whispered among themselves, questioning whether Kofi's inventions were truly beneficial or if they would bring unforeseen problems. One of the skeptics was Masika, a respected elder known for his traditional views. He approached Kofi one day, his expression serious. "Kofi, you are a bright boy, and your inventions are impressive," Masika said. "But we must be cautious. Change can be dangerous, and we must not lose sight of our traditions and values." Kofi listened respectfully, understanding the elder's concerns. "I understand, Masika. I promise to be mindful of our traditions and to use my knowledge to help, not harm. We can find a balance between innovation and our way of life." Masika nodded, appreciating Kofi's humility. "You have a good heart, Kofi. Just remember, wisdom is knowing how to use your knowledge wisely." With this advice in mind, Kofi continued his work, determined to prove that his inventions could coexist with the village's traditions. He knew that earning the trust of the skeptics would take time, but he was willing to work hard and show his commitment to the well-being of Nyumbani. As Kofi's inventions continued to gain attention, not everyone in the village embraced the changes with open arms. Some villagers were afraid of the unknown, worried that these new technologies might disrupt their traditional ways of life. Others, particularly a few influential elders, viewed Kofi's growing influence with suspicion and jealousy. One day, as Kofi was demonstrating a new, more efficient way to grind grain using a simple hand-crank machine, a group of skeptics gathered nearby, watching with folded arms and furrowed brows. Among them was Mtembezi, a respected elder who had always been wary of change. "This machine is impressive, Kofi," Mtembezi said, his tone laced with skepticism. "But what if it breaks? What if it takes away jobs from our people?" Kofi paused, looking around at the gathered crowd. He knew this moment was crucial. "This machine is here to help us, not replace us. It makes our work easier and faster, so we can spend more time on other important tasks. If it breaks, I will fix it, and I will teach others how to fix it too." Some villagers nodded in agreement, but Mtembezi and his followers remained unconvinced. "We have lived this way for generations, Kofi. We do not need these machines to survive." Kofi understood their concerns. He had always respected the traditions of his village, but he also saw the potential for progress and improvement. "I respect our traditions, Mtembezi, but I believe that by embracing new ideas, we can make our lives better without losing who we are. We can honor the past and build a brighter future." The tension in the air was palpable, but before anyone could respond, an unexpected voice chimed in. It was Mama Amina, the village's wise woman and healer. Her presence commanded respect, and the crowd fell silent. "Kofi speaks with wisdom beyond his years," Mama Amina said, her voice calm and steady. "Change is not something to fear. It is an opportunity for growth. Let us not reject what we do not yet understand. Instead, let us support this young boy and see where his knowledge can lead us." Her words carried weight, and slowly, the skepticism began to dissolve. Kofi was grateful for her support and knew that gaining the trust of the entire village would be a gradual process. He resolved to continue his work with humility and patience, showing through his actions that his inventions were indeed beneficial. With Mama Amina's endorsement, Kofi found new allies among the villagers. One of his strongest supporters was the village elder, Babu Jabari, who had always believed in nurturing the talents of the younger generation. Babu Jabari saw in Kofi a spark that could ignite positive change and lead Nyumbani towards a more prosperous future. "Kofi, come sit with me," Babu Jabari called one afternoon, waving the boy over to his shaded porch. "Tell me about your ideas. How can we help you bring them to life?" Kofi eagerly shared his vision, describing various projects he had been working on and the potential benefits they could bring to the village. Babu Jabari listened intently, nodding thoughtfully. "We must ensure you have the resources you need," Babu Jabari said. "And we must involve the community. If people see and participate in your work, they will understand its value." With Babu Jabari's support, Kofi began to organize workshops where he could teach others about his inventions and the basic principles behind them. He started with the youth, knowing that their open minds and enthusiasm would be key to spreading acceptance. He also reached out to the artisans and craftsmen in the village, hoping to integrate their skills with his new ideas. One of the first to join Kofi's workshops was Juma, a talented blacksmith known for his craftsmanship. Kofi admired Juma's skill and saw the potential for collaboration. Together, they worked on improving Kofi's inventions, making them sturdier and more reliable. As word of the workshop spread, more villagers came forward, curious and eager to learn. Kofi's small workshop soon became a hub of activity and innovation. People from all walks of life gathered to share their knowledge and contribute their skills. The community's involvement began to shift perceptions. Even those who had been skeptical started to see the benefits of Kofi's inventions. The windmill, which had once been viewed with suspicion, now powered a communal workshop where villagers could work late into the evening. The water wheel made irrigation more efficient, leading to healthier crops and increased yields. Kofi's vision of a balanced future, where tradition and innovation coexisted, was slowly becoming a reality. The villagers began to realize that embracing new ideas did not mean abandoning their heritage. Instead, it meant building upon it and finding new ways to thrive. As the months passed, Kofi's inventions continued to transform the village of Nyumbani. The once skeptical villagers now marveled at the improvements that had taken place. The irrigation system, powered by the water wheel, ensured that crops flourished even during dry spells. The windmill provided energy for various tasks, from grinding grain to lighting the village square at night. One of Kofi's most ambitious projects was a simple water purification system. The village's water source, a river that flowed nearby, had always been prone to contamination during the rainy season. Kofi designed a filtration system using sand, charcoal, and gravel, which significantly improved the quality of the water. The villagers were healthier, and the incidence of waterborne diseases decreased. Nyumbani began to attract attention from neighboring villages and towns. Traders and travelers visited more frequently, curious to see the remarkable changes. They were greeted by the sight of windmills turning in the breeze, fields lush with crops, and a village bustling with activity and innovation. Kofi's reputation as a young inventor spread far and wide. He was invited to share his knowledge with other communities, and people began to look to Nyumbani as a model of progress. The village, once isolated and humble, became a beacon of hope and inspiration. Despite his growing fame, Kofi remained humble and focused on his work. He continued to learn and experiment, always seeking new ways to improve the lives of his fellow villagers. He also took to heart the wisdom of Babu Jabari and Mama Amina, ensuring that his inventions respected the traditions and values of Nyumbani. One day, as Kofi was working on a new project in his workshop, a group of elders approached him. They were led by Masika, the elder who had once been one of his most vocal skeptics. "Kofi," Masika began, his tone respectful, "we have come to realize the value of your work. You have shown us that progress does not mean abandoning our ways, but rather enhancing them. We would like to offer our support and resources to help you continue your work." Kofi was deeply moved by their words. He thanked them and welcomed their support, knowing that it marked a significant turning point in the village's journey. With the elders' backing, Kofi's projects gained even more momentum. The village began to flourish in ways that the villagers had never imagined. New systems for agriculture, water management, and energy production were implemented. Education became a priority, with Kofi and other knowledgeable villagers teaching the younger generation about science, technology, and the importance of innovation. Nyumbani was no longer just a village. It was a thriving community built on the foundation of unity, respect for tradition, and a forward-thinking spirit. And at the heart of it all was Kofi, the young boy whose curiosity and determination had sparked a transformation that changed everything. The remarkable transformation of Nyumbani did not go unnoticed. News of Kofi's inventions and the village's progress spread far and wide, reaching cities and distant lands. Traders, scholars, and even government officials traveled to Nyumbani to witness the changes firsthand and learn from the young inventor. One day, a delegation from a nearby town arrived in Nyumbani. They were led by Mr. Okello, a prominent businessman known for his interest in technological advancements. He had heard about Kofi's work and was eager to see if there were opportunities for collaboration. "Kofi," Mr. Okello said, extending a hand in greeting, "I am impressed by what I have seen here. Your inventions have transformed this village. I believe there is much we can learn from each other." Kofi welcomed the delegation warmly, giving them a tour of the village and explaining the various projects he had undertaken. Mr. Okello was particularly interested in the water purification system and the windmill-powered workshop. "These innovations could benefit many communities," Mr. Okello remarked. "I would like to propose a partnership. Together, we can expand these ideas to other villages and towns, improving the lives of countless people." Kofi was excited by the prospect of sharing his knowledge more widely, but he also felt a sense of responsibility to his village. "I appreciate your offer, Mr. Okello, but my priority is to ensure that Nyumbani continues to thrive. I am willing to collaborate, but I want to make sure that our village remains a model for sustainable development." Mr. Okello nodded in understanding. "Of course, Kofi. Your dedication to your community is admirable. We can start by setting up workshops and training programs here in Nyumbani. This way, we can empower others to implement these technologies in their own villages." The collaboration between Nyumbani and Mr. Okello's team proved to be a success. Workshops were held, attracting people from various regions who were eager to learn and replicate Kofi's inventions. Kofi and his fellow villagers shared their knowledge, fostering a spirit of cooperation and mutual learning. The impact of this collaboration was profound. As more villages adopted the innovative solutions developed in Nyumbani, the entire region began to experience positive changes. Access to clean water, improved agricultural practices, and renewable energy sources led to better health, increased productivity, and a higher quality of life for many communities. Kofi's dream of making a difference was becoming a reality, but he remained humble and focused on his work. He knew that with success came new challenges and responsibilities. One of the most pressing issues was ensuring that the innovations were sustainable and could be maintained by the local communities without relying heavily on outside assistance. One fateful year, a severe drought struck the region, threatening the prosperity that Nyumbani and its neighboring villages had enjoyed. Crops withered, rivers dried up, and the once fertile land turned barren. The villagers were worried, and their fears grew as the days passed without rain. Kofi knew that this was his greatest challenge yet. He spent long hours in his workshop, brainstorming and experimenting with possible solutions. He consulted with the elders, seeking their wisdom, and gathered input from the villagers to understand their most pressing needs. After much thought, Kofi devised a plan to build a series of reservoirs and an advanced irrigation system that could store water during the scarce rainy periods and distribute it efficiently during dry spells. This system would ensure that even in times of drought, the village would have access to the water they needed for drinking, farming, and daily life. With the support of the entire community, Kofi led the construction of the reservoirs. The villagers worked tirelessly, digging and building under the scorching sun. The spirit of unity and determination was palpable, and everyone understood that their efforts were crucial for their survival. Despite their hard work, the drought persisted, testing their resolve. Some days, it seemed as though their efforts might be in vain. But Kofi refused to give up. He reminded the villagers of the strength they had shown in the past and the progress they had made together. His unwavering belief in their ability to overcome the challenge inspired everyone to keep going. Finally, the reservoirs were completed, and the new irrigation system was put to the test. Water flowed through the channels, reaching the parched fields and filling the villagers' hearts with hope. The crops began to recover, and the village slowly returned to its former vitality. Kofi's innovative solution had saved Nyumbani from the brink of disaster. The villagers' gratitude was immense, and their faith in Kofi's vision was stronger than ever. They had learned that by working together and embracing new ideas, they could overcome even the most daunting challenges. With the drought crisis behind them, Kofi and the villagers of Nyumbani experienced a period of unprecedented prosperity. The new irrigation system not only ensured a steady water supply, but also boosted agricultural productivity, leading to surplus harvests that could be traded with neighboring communities. News of Kofi's success spread far and wide, reaching the ears of regional leaders and influential figures. Invitations poured in for Kofi to share his knowledge and speak at conferences and gatherings. He was recognized not only as an inventor, but also as a visionary leader who had transformed his village through innovation and perseverance. One day, Kofi received an invitation to speak at a major conference on sustainable development in the capital city. It was an opportunity to showcase Nyumbani's achievements on a larger stage and inspire others with his story. Although he felt a mix of excitement and nervousness, Kofi knew this was a chance to make a broader impact. As Kofi stood before a diverse audience of scholars, policymakers, and fellow innovators, he spoke from the heart. He shared the journey of Nyumbani, from the discovery of the old book to the challenges they had faced and the solutions they had implemented. He emphasized the importance of combining traditional wisdom with modern knowledge and the power of community collaboration. The audience was captivated by Kofi's story and moved by his passion and humility. His message resonated deeply, and many were inspired to follow Nyumbani's example in their own communities. Kofi's speech received a standing ovation, and he was approached by numerous attendees eager to learn more and explore potential collaborations. Following the conference, Kofi's role as a mentor and educator expanded. He traveled to different regions, sharing his knowledge and helping other communities develop sustainable solutions tailored to their unique needs. He also invited young innovators from across the country to visit Nyumbani, fostering a network of like-minded individuals committed to positive change. As Kofi matured, he continued to reflect on the journey that had brought Nyumbani to its current state of prosperity. He realized that the true success of his work lay not in the inventions themselves, but in the spirit of curiosity, collaboration, and resilience that had been cultivated within the community. Determined to ensure that this legacy endured, Kofi established the Nyumbani School of Innovation. The school aimed to teach young minds about science, technology, and sustainable practices, while also instilling the values of community, respect for tradition, and the importance of ethical innovation. The school quickly became a beacon of learning, attracting students from near and far. Kofi, along with other knowledgeable villagers and external experts, served as mentors, guiding the next generation of thinkers and problem solvers. The students learned through hands-on projects, just as Kofi had in his grandfather's attic, and they were encouraged to explore their own ideas and passions. One of Kofi's proudest moments came when a group of students developed a new, more efficient solar-powered water pump. This invention was a testament to the ongoing spirit of innovation in Nyumbani, and a reminder that Kofi's work would continue to inspire future generations. Years passed, and Nyumbani thrived as a model community, balancing tradition with progress. Kofi's vision had come to fruition, and his story became a source of inspiration for people around the world. The village that had once been a quiet, isolated place had transformed into a symbol of hope and possibility. As Kofi sat on the porch of his family's home, now an elder himself, he watched the children playing and the villagers working together, just as they had always done. He felt a deep sense of fulfillment, knowing that the seeds of curiosity and innovation he had planted so many years ago had grown into something truly remarkable. Kofi's journey from a curious young boy to a visionary leader had indeed changed everything. His hidden potential, nurtured by his community and driven by his unwavering belief in a better future, had transformed Nyumbani and touched the lives of countless people. And in the heart of Africa, under the same sun and stars that had always watched over them, the village of Nyumbani continued to shine brightly, a testament to the power of hidden potential. As Kofi's fame spread, he was approached by many who sought his advice and guidance. One such visitor was Amelie, a young woman from a distant village called Nyumbani. Amelie had heard of Nyumbani's success and was determined to bring similar innovations to her own community. "Kofi," Amelie began, her voice filled with determination, "my village is struggling. We face many of the same challenges that Nyumbani once did. I want to learn from you and bring hope to Nyumbani." Kofi was moved by her resolve and welcomed her to Nyumbani. Over the next several weeks, he shared his knowledge and experiences with Amelie, teaching her about the various inventions and how they were developed. He also emphasized the importance of involving the entire community and respecting their traditions. Amelie was a quick learner and soon began to develop her own ideas. She envisioned a system of interconnected communities that could support each other, sharing resources, knowledge, and innovations. Kofi was impressed by her vision and offered to help her make it a reality. Together, they set out to build bridges, both literal and figurative, between Nyumbani and Nyumbani. They organized workshops and training sessions, inviting people from both villages to participate. They also worked on developing new projects that could benefit both communities, such as a shared marketplace and a communication network that would allow them to exchange information and ideas more easily. The collaboration between Nyumbani and Nyumbani proved to be a great success. The villagers of Nyumbani were inspired by Kofi's story and Amelie's leadership, and they embraced the new innovations with enthusiasm. The shared marketplace became a bustling hub of activity, where people from both villages could trade goods and services, strengthening their bonds and fostering a spirit of cooperation. The success of the collaboration between Nyumbani and Nyumbani caught the attention of other villages in the region. Soon, representatives from various communities began to visit Nyumbani, eager to learn from Kofi and his team. The network of interconnected villages grew, creating a powerful alliance of communities committed to sustainable development and mutual support. Kofi's vision of a region united by innovation and cooperation was becoming a reality. The villages in the network shared their resources, knowledge, and expertise, helping each other overcome challenges and achieve their goals. The collective progress they made was astounding, and the entire region began to thrive. The network of villages continued to grow and evolve, always guided by the principles that Kofi had championed: respect for tradition, the power of community, and the importance of sustainable innovation. The region remained a beacon of hope and inspiration, demonstrating to the world what was possible when people came together with a shared vision and determination. And so, the tale of Kofi, the boy who had unlocked his hidden potential and transformed his village, became a timeless story of hope, resilience, and the enduring power of human ingenuity.